Today I'd like to tie for you a craft fur deceiver. The hook I have in a vise, this is an Octopus hook. This is a size 6. You can tie these as large as you'd like. The thread I'm going to use is black. This is 8/0. We're going to put a base of thread down on the shank. We're going to start with the tail, and I have a pair of Grizzly Hackle, and these are the top feathers from a cape, from a rooster cape. I'm going to go ahead and tie these in right on top. You could weight this fly if you'd like. Now I'm going to turn it over, and you can either take white or gray craft fur, and here I have a gray craft fur. It's pretty white though. I'm going to take a section of that. You want a pretty nice section. If you bring it together, it would be about the size of a ink pen filler. If you pulled it all together, take that and pull all of that fluff out of there. You can even use your comb. You can see I get a lot more out with the comb. We're going to tie that in to be maybe about half the length of the feather. I'm going to start it on my side and just let it roll right to the middle, and then we'll divide it afterward. You can tell it's rolled because it's going around on the front. Put a few securing wraps and we'll trim off the excess. And secure that. Now I'm just going to take my bodkin needle and bring it around both sides. They have the nice little bit of a white belly there. Turn that back over. Now I'm going to take a Grizzly craft fur. This Grizzly craft fur, you can see the long grizzly marks are really long. Here's an example here. Here's all of the real long stuff, and then you got shorter stuff on the bottom. We're going to take a combination of both. I'm going to pull out that short stuff. And here I have a combination of both the under fur from the craft fur, if you want to call it that, and the long stuff. I'm going to tie that on top. And make that slightly longer than the white of the belly. And we can tie this in and remove the excess. I'm going to take another section of the gray and put a little bit more belly in there. Just one more time. And this one we want to make shorter than the first. If your craft fur has different lengths, you can just pull them out and resize them just like that. We're going to make this one shorter than the first. And let that roll over to the middle. Whoop. Going to remove that excess. Take my bodkin needle once again and divide it. Pull that on both sides. I'm going to put one more layer on the top. With this, if you pull out the fuzz, you're basically pulling out all of the under fur. And you can see there, you can see that white, that Grizzly marking section inside there. We're going to tie this in. Trim that off a little bit. It's getting a bit fat there up on the top. And we're going to go ahead and tie this in. Clean up that head. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to taper this this Grizzly. Now I'm going to make a dubbing loop. And I'm going to take the Grizzly underfur and I'm going to use that in the dubbing loop. And I just pulled some off cut it off by hand. I'm going to put that in the dubbing loop. And when I get it in there, I'm going to spread that out. Get that out of the way. When we put it in the dubbing loop, we want to have a small amount on the tag end. I'm going to turn it sideways and give it a spin. You can pull it all out to one side. I'm going to wrap that dubbing loop and keep everything going towards the rear. If you don't weight this fly, it's going to stay close to the surface because this because the craft fur is going to float since it's synthetic. Not float, but it will hold stuff towards the top. It's kind of got a neutral buoyancy. And I have enough there, so I'm going to tie that off. And go ahead and trim away the excess. I'm going to pull everything back and expose that eye of the hook. Wrap that head pretty good. We'll take our whip finisher finish that off, pull that tight, and I broke it off, not a big deal. Now you can pull any loose stuff out of there. I'm going to take my comb and go ahead and comb that out, just to make sure that I didn't wrap any hairs inside. Now you can leave it like this if you'd like, or you could take a black marker and put some marks on there. Put a couple of more marks on the front section here. Just touch the craft fur with the marker. Now to finish this off, I'm going to put these small, these are 4mm rainbow eyes. Get those lines up. Now I'm going to take my Deer Creek Diamond Flex UV resin. I'm going to push that one back just a little bit. There we go. When you use resin, you don't want to get too much on the bottom here because you want to save your gap. I'm going to put some on the eye and let it go around. Got to let that seep into the craft fur also. Take my UV light. And you have to leave that on there a little bit longer to get the stuff that's inside the craft fur. And here we have a craft fur deceiver. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.